All right, episode 36 of Ask a Puppy Trainer Live.
Hey guys.
You hold the puppy today.
We have Luna with us today. She is a Pomsky.
Pomsky. I thought she was a Kleekai. Pomsky.
No, she's a Pomsky, but she looks like Kleekai to me.
She does look like a Kleekai.
She's just not the same size.
Oh, kids.
If you guys don't know what that is, Alaskan Kleekai is like a little miniature husky thing.
Except whinier and bossier, if that's even possible.
Pomskys are a lot more well known though. Okay.
All right. So we're going to just go ahead and dive right into our questions. Okay. I'll do the long ones first, and I'll give you the short ones. Simone. That means Simone, right? The little,
when you have the accent over the
accent.
E, that means you got to say the E.
What? Simone? A.
Simone?
Simone? No, it's not E. It's not Simone. Maybe it is Simone. If it is, more power to you. All right.
I failed Spanish.
It's not always Spanish, right? I don't know anything. Hi, team. Hi. New Zealand. Well, I mean, she could be Spanish in New Zealand. That's very possible.
Read the question.
Hoping you might be able to give us some advice. We'll try to get to it. We love watching your Q&A. Yay! We have an 11-week-old golden retriever puppy. Yay! I like those. He is absolutely amazing. Aw, you're still in the love stage. That's so cute. We love him so much already. Okay. We've had him from 8 weeks old, so 8 to 11 weeks old. Oh yeah, of course you still love him. You've had him 2 weeks. Okay. Sister,
3.
blah, blah, blah. Generally, he's well behaved, except for normal puppy stuff. Hey, stop. You are an obsessive licker. I can tell. Nope.
I give her a lot of love. It's my fault. Lots
of chewing. All right. Despite every chew toy that you can think of, he seems to like my best stuff. That's normal. Anything that smells like you, puppies are going to be drawn to.
It's a comfort thing.
Yeah, they'd much rather chew on your shoe, your towel, your underwear, stuff like that. All right. What we need help with is sometimes we need to pick him up to take him downstairs or take him off the couch. Okay, sorry. But he'll growl at us quite badly.
That sounds like a spoiled puppy.
But they've only had him for 2-3 weeks.
Hey.
If we try to take him off the couch and, or something that he shouldn't have, it doesn't happen all the time. Now you're making excuses for your puppy. My kid doesn't beat up children all the time. No,
just
once in a while. Just when he seems to want to get his own way, we're trying to teach him drop it and leave it, but he's so young, I imagine that's difficult. I know that we're doing something wrong. I'm just not sure what.
Well, we picked on you quite a bit already just from reading it.
What?
So
I wasn't
now we're going to help you.
Picking on her.
Now we're going to help you.
I'm sorry.
Ricky's like nodding yes over there, like yeah. Bethany was a lot more mean. I was trying to support you.
That's because, and I'll tell you why. We don't read these questions in advance usually, and just by the way you opened up the message, I knew what was coming. I knew there was severe biting, growling, something. Like I knew what was coming.
Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I'm going to start off. So yes, we've picked on you. Sorry. This is Instagram Live. We're doing it for the gram. So, and so we have to make it somewhat entertaining. But there's truth in every bit of it. And so how to actually help you and kind of see a perspective is an 11-week-old should not be growling, being taken off the couch. And even if it's not growling, even if it's just grumbling, like sleepy puppy grumbling, that should not be happening. So that tells me, even if you spoiled him rotten, it shouldn't be happening. So that tells me, and this is the crappy part, this is why I was trying to laugh in the beginning, because this is not fun at all. It's not fun for us, actually, to let someone know that their puppy is genetically predisposed to being a bit of a pushy, dominant dog with the potential for future aggression. And so that is why this is so good to catch early, but you are already seeing something that is just part of the puppy's temperament, okay? And so we want to tackle this super fast before it gets any worse, of course, But these are the possibilities. And look, we're not trying to scare you. We're definitely jaded. We are two people that we don't just work with puppies. We work with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old dogs that started out like your puppy, but they didn't seek help till the puppy was 1, 2, 3, 4 years old. And now there are serious issues. They're snapping at the kids or biting the kids or guarding food, or you can't even go near a crate or a dog bed because that tiny little red flag that you're experiencing, Simone, a lot of other people are experiencing it as well, and they're not asking questions, and they think it's normal, they think they'll grow out of it, and they're just ignoring it.
So we applaud you for reaching out.
Yeah, so
because most people don't get help, and you have.
And they wait. That's why we know what this turns into, okay? And so that's why it's definitely an important red flag, but it's nothing to freak out over yet. So you got to get rid of the couch. An 11-week-old golden retriever puppy, we would suggest no puppy that age and that breed especially would be on the couch anyway. So that's not just you. That would be something general. But I'd say it just goes double for you a little bit because of what you're experiencing. The other thing is we see this a lot with doodles. I wonder if it's the golden retriever. We see it a lot with doodles. We don't go to him and pick him up anymore. And I don't mean forever, but for a few weeks, let's draw him out of being asleep or being really settled in, okay? And so what I mean by that is you could use food. If he's easy to call over to you, you could just kind of tap the floor. Hey buddy, wake up, come on. Good boy, come on, and get him to walk over to you and then pick him up. This should make a huge difference. And then if you're still getting a little bit of grumble, give them a piece of food. Give them a piece of poop. No, sorry.
I thought I was the tongue-tied one today.
I know. You guys made me feel bad. I'm all like flustered. Sorry. Give him a piece of food while you pick him up. And I'm not saying that that's going to magically work. He still might grumble, but it's not something you can tackle right then and there. You don't want to correct a puppy for grumbling. You want to set them up a little bit better, take away so much freedom, stop holding him. Give me 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks, no couch, lots of food work, 15 minutes of food work, 10 to 15 minutes of food work twice a day, just organically throughout the day. I use food as well. So you got your 10, 15 minutes once or twice a day of focused food work. Follow me, sit, good, come, do a lot of follow me stuff. Like just come work or turn your back and reward while you're moving and your puppy's following you with their food. That would be ideal. And then you've got your organic food work. So if I have a puppy and I'm starting to see these signs, I would walk around with a food pouch if my puppy is out for 2 weeks. And every time I need that puppy to come over to me or I need that puppy to get up and move, I'm going to use food. We need to create more of a positive association with this. To work. Because even the sweetest puppies in the world, we've seen it so many times. Even at Puppy Academy, they hit 5, 6, 7 months old, and that little bit of growling we didn't know about on the couch has now turned into snapping, and it's just escalated. And then in another year, it'll escalate even more. So really have everybody in the house, knuckle down and do this and practice this. Get that puppy, coming to you easily. Let's say the puppy was in a dead sleep. I would do something to wake it up first. So one of the things that I would do is if the puppy's in a dead sleep and maybe they snuck up on the couch, even though the trainer said no couch, I would press down and kind of do this not on the dog, on the couch, right by their feet till they kind of wake up. Or you could use food too. And then be like, good boy, come here, buddy. Keep it all very positive because this dog is frustrated. You're moving him, you're in his brain, you're manhandling him when he doesn't want to be manhandled. And that's going to create frustration over time and cause it to escalate.
You also have to think about carrying the puppy, picking the puppy up off of something. That's not natural to a puppy. This is actually something that Bethany just lectured on last week, literally last week.
Lectured? I lectured on it?
Lectured on it last week, yes.
I'm the mean
it's
one
more
today.
about
Fine.
using leash and guiding and getting their attention that way. Thank you. I think I lost a couple layers of skin from all the licking. She likes to go up the nose. She's a tunnler. Yeah, we have a name for it, guys.
It's called a swirly. Nose swirly.
I like tunnler more because that sounds funky. I lost my train of thought.
I'm sure it was brilliant. Keep going.
I'm sure it was
So, dogs don't want to be picked up. Doesn't come natural to
Thank
dogs.
you. Doesn't come natural to dogs. So,
I was
mentioned it.
listening.
I'm all about actually putting a leash on a dog. And even when they're at a crate and
Puppy.
you're not...
It's
Okay.
it's 11-week-old puppy.
I would still put a leash on a
No,
harness.
I just wanted you to clarify.
Okay,
That's all.
11-week-old puppy, I'd still put a leash on. I wouldn't necessarily hang it on the neck because that's a small puppy. You don't want to get under anything. I'd go to a harness. Bethany sometimes for the larger dogs will say put it on the collar. We're okay with that. But for the little guys, I put it on the harness.
Young and little.
Because when I want to get a puppy up and I want to wake them up, I might even kind of grab that leash and do a little movement on that leash. How she said kind of rub by the paws, the back ones, just so the puppy kind of wakes up. If I do have a growly puppy, one, they shouldn't be on the couch, just like Bethany mentioned, but anytime I want to move that puppy, I'm using food and maybe even a little bit of leash guidance when they don't want to move. So I'm creating an understanding that maybe transcends asking their permission and being a little bit more like, hey, let's go, dude. Being a little bit more demanding with them.
So the leash thing, which I thought he was going to pick up on this, but I almost forgot about it. So the leash thing is also going to be necessary when he picks things up off the ground. And so if you can't trade it for food, because you're right, teaching a puppy to drop it right now, it's a hard thing to do. You're going to need to get some one-on-one help. You know, to be able to teach an 11-week-old puppy how to drop it and you don't have that kind of experience, that would require some one-on-one help. So kind of our management, which I wouldn't do forever, but for now, preventative, yeah, it's preventative. But stuff happens. These are retrievers. They put everything in their mouths.
True.
So anyway, if they won't trade for food, they probably will for a squeaky toy. You know, instead of putting pressure on him, you can create. Your puppy's so young. I always get surprised sometimes, these young ones. Your puppy shouldn't feel like this yet. It hasn't been in your home long enough, but what we see is around the 4 and 5 month mark, what we see all the time is for weeks, owners have been chasing their puppy when they have a sock or something.
Woo! Having a blast with it too.
And then they finally corner them and they just grab the puppy's collar and they're like, give it to me, you know, or then they might trade for food, but they've chased the dog down first. If they're dragging a leash around, you just pick up the leash and you draw them to you. Sit good puppy, because you're saying good for, you know, kind of following you and coming to you. It's very non-confrontational. If you start confronting your dog, chasing them down, charging over and being like, you're going to create so much frustration. You're going to create a guarding dog, especially being like grabbed and stuff pulled out and just kind of exacerbated.
A lot of owners, I know that your dog may even have like allergies and stuff. You're really worried about it, but choose your battles.
Choose your battles.
Some of the ones where I know they're picking up something that is actually harmful to them,
which is rare.
I'm on top of it. It is
but
rare.
That's rare.
But like the occasional stick or leaf, guys, they can eat a few sticks or leaves and not be hurt by it.
Yeah.
So that's not the one where you're like
Yep.
charging them.
Even a sock, if they're not eating socks yet and they're just chewing on socks, and you start running at them and like and trying to grab them, that will actually make them start to swallow socks. We see it.
It's competition.
Yep.
So they're gonna win the game is probably what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So it's no big deal. Puppy, come come on, good job. Squeak toy, food, sit, something, and do a trade. Okay. That is a more non-combative, non-confrontational way, conflict-free way. I did that because that's an actual training term, conflict-free way of not building any frustration and getting that out of their mouth. That would be my MO for the next, 2-3 months as I worked on my drop it and made it be super positive. Because that's going to take a while to work.
That was 50 minutes. We got to move on.
Whatever. I'm devoting time to being very explanatory.
Los Cuatro Allens. I love it.
Me again.
Has how to curb when the cat is staring at the puppy and she barks back 4 months old. Don't let the cat stare at the puppy.
Truly, don't let the cat stare at the puppy. Yep.
You can't stop the puppy from barking. You can't correct a 4-month-old Aussiedoodle for barking at the cat when the cat is creating competition. Similar to what we just mentioned.
It's mad dogging.
And the cat knows what it's doing. The cat's not dumb. The cat knows exactly that he's literally pissing off the dog to get a reaction from the dog. So cats can't be trained like dogs, but you can still mitigate that energy and be like, hey, move away, move away.
They understand body blocking. Some even cat trainers will use projectiles like Nerf guns. Like if they jump up on the counter, they'll Nerf gun. They jump up.
I don't know enough about that. So
I do not a ton, but enough. But anyway, you can use body language because body language is universal. In the animal world, it's number one. Cats are a little special, but you can absolutely stand up and and kind of move into that cat and make them walk away. And then you cannot just leave it at that because you're not done. You then have to turn to your Aussiedoodle puppy and help calm them back down. Do a little bit of calm, let's go, a few turns, back in place. Hey.
And if the dog's in the crate,
settle down.
Cover the crate.
Cover the crate.
If the puppy's in the crate, because I know it's hard to control what the cat's doing at all times, especially when the dog's in the crate. Cover it with a towel, a blanket. We recommend that anyways.
Yeah. And
then put that crate in a quieter area that maybe the cat doesn't have access to. Close the bedroom door, so then you prevent that situation from forming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then when the dog is out, your Aussiedoodle is outside of the crate, then you got to work the dog through it like Bethany was saying.
Don't forget to calm your Aussiedoodle down. And it might be something as little as, hey, don't even think about it. Good. And walk away. Just make sure there's some follow through there.
Have you noticed how little she's been licking Bethany since Bethany took her from me? I have a relationship with her. I definitely coddle her a little bit more because she's a softer dog, and if I do like tougher training sessions, I got to give a little bit more affection, which is why I let some of that licking go. But even when she's holding her, the minimal licking, that's a relationship thing. So she already worked her through, even with just a firm like, hey, settle down, cut it out. That's what she's talking about.
It won't last forever, but it's lasting for a little bit.
And if she were to give her love for the next 10 minutes, she'd go right back to licking just like she did with me.
Yeah, compulsively, yeah. Which is actually, I think, common for this breed. I've come across 2 others that do compulsive licking. Yeah,
it's the husky. It's the husky. You know?
I love working with breed and specific breed mixes. We see all these, same tendencies. Yeah. Okay. Sure. More details. Oh, this is a short one, but so Camille family, should I get 2 puppies at once from the same litter? Oh, my heart. Or space them a year or 2 apart.
Space them.
Space them.
Read the bottom.
Okay.
Read the bottom.
May I ask a question? Can we? She's done great. Let's end on a good note instead of a wiggly.
Good job, Luna.
Good job. Luna. Thank you, Ricky.
Hi, Luna.
May I ask a question for your live? I've been binging on your past live streams. Thank you. I'm preparing to bring home my first puppy, and I love them. Here's my question. Are there any benefits or drawbacks at getting one at a couple of years apart? I'm getting an 4-month-old standard poodle. Do you know what an F means? Is that part of the breed standard?
Female 4-month-old.
Oh, female. Okay, cool. Because mixes are
they have
B1,
like A1, B2.
Okay, so sorry.
It's like Wagyu steak.
And I just found out her sister from the same litter is also available. I've always wanted 2. So there's something called Littermate syndrome. So let me just break down what happens if you get 2 dogs from the same litter. Your life is going to revolve around them.
It's like having 2 babies.
It's like having 2 babies, but those babies cannot be together that much because you will never have control over them because they will always choose each other over you. Yeah. So when I have seen this firsthand because I used to work with a lot of breeders in the show world when I was super, super young. And when I would see them decide to get 2 dogs from the same litter, it was for different purposes than just to have 2 dogs. They would purposefully keep them crated in separate areas or with some of their other mini dogs in between or kenneled and work with them individually off and on all day long for a few weeks. They would get minimal time together. As they started to choose the human as the person in charge, they would get more and more time together, but mostly that was with a pack, not even just the 2 of them together, because it takes, 5 minutes a day of them together that trumps 30 minutes of your work a day with them individually. Google it. Google Littermate syndrome. I'm not saying people haven't had positive experiences with it. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I'd say 1 in 5 people probably have a positive experience with that, but they do a ton of work.
And they'll tell you how much work it is. Yeah. And just for the record, 2 females. your 2 females, 2 males is usually a no-go. It's usually a no-go. You're going to go through adolescence and you could really see some potential fights unless you're really on top of it.
I'm trying to think the last 5 owners. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, go ahead.
I'm trying to think the last 5 owners that I've worked with. I got literally 4 owners. I have 8 dog names in my mind right now, and I have had multiple conversations after they've graduated my program, Puppy Academy's program, and has even attended her program. And I know which ones you're thinking of right now. But all of these dogs, they had issues later on because of Littermate syndrome, or even just reactivity from one of them that then translate to the other one. It does happen. So the drawbacks, everything we just mentioned. The benefits, I can't think of one, because if you get them a year or 2 apart, they're still going to have all the same relationship, being together, and like you're still going to get all the same benefits of getting the dog 2 years apart than you would if you got them right together, without the drawbacks of having Littermate syndrome and any reactivity issues that maybe the other one picks up on. So I know it's like
we're just not a fan. I could sit here and I'm thinking of 2 people off the top of my head where it's worked out, but they're not the majority. So I think we'll just leave it at that.
I got one guy in mind.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well for him, but he did so much work with these dogs every day.
And Jen has done a ridiculous amount of work with hers. She's practically become a dog trainer for her.
You dropped a name.
Yeah, well,
but
she
Jen,
probably watches
you
this.
did do good.
Yeah,
you did
she
do
probably
good.
watches this. It's positive.
She's just sitting there. She's like, you better drop my name in a good way.
All right. All right, Emily, hi. I have a question for you. For the record, I had to spend so long on her because this is the Simone, the first one. Simone.
I thought it was Simone.
Because I just said Simone. Okay. Because this is the first one and you picked on me for being mean. So I had to go out of my way to be very helpful.
I've never heard you be so mean.
That's not true. Stop that. I'm mean and candid all the time. All the time.
But I'm going to pick on you like this.
Emily, I have a question for the Q&A. Hopefully I can submit it through here. Night-week-old Bernedoodle. What is the best way to reinforce a command? Oh, it's your favorite word. Reinforce. Reinforce.
That's a trigger.
Reinforce. Okay, sorry.
Reinforce stay.
We keep a leash on her at all times throughout the house. Bless you, Emily. And we're working on come, sit down, place, free. That must be the release word this week. But sometimes she doesn't come, even though I've lured her with a treat and the leash is on. This is a 9-week-old Bernedoodle.
Yeah.
This
the
is
fact
the baby.
that she even moves 10 feet, you're pretty lucky.
How do I use the leash as a tool to reinforce the command? Whew, I have something to say. I've just been waiting, not pulling on it. Man, Emily, on your game, huh?
You are on your game.
And if it's clear, she still isn't coming, LOL, I'll redirect her with another treat, another command, and just move on. Wanted your guidance. Okay, first of all, I have to talk about my signature training.
You know what's important? That she ruffled the paper to smooth out the crease.
Oh, yes.
That's her cycle.
All right, Emily, listen to me. This is what you're going to do. I'm sure he'll give you stuff. But this is what you really need to do. This is the most important thing. Before you feed breakfast in the morning or use the dog's food, try to stop using so many treats. Try to get the dog working for their food, their kibble. If they eat wet food, even handfuls of wet food with a glove, I'm game.
Not fun, but do it.
It's not fun, but seriously, 2 weeks. Give me 2 weeks. This is a follow me exercise. And all you're going to do is you're going to, no distractions, and your puppy's going to be looking at you, or they might be distracted. I would have no drag leash just for 5-10 minutes for the first few days, then add a drag leash, okay?
Because it can create some frustration.
Yeah, it can create some, Okay, you are going to walk around and with handfuls of kibble, you're just going to take a few steps. Maybe 2 things might work best for your puppy. Looking right at your puppy and moving back a few steps, come, or just say the puppy's name. Bernedoodle. Bernedoodle, good food, okay? Then Bernedoodle, come, good food. Even that, you might get some ignoring. So I might just walk around with my back turned, take a few steps, drop a few pieces of food on the floor. Get your dog, your puppy, into a follower mindset where they're following you around for 5-10 minutes nonstop. Now, if you get to the point where by day 2 or 3, or maybe by the end of the first session, where your puppy is on your heel and you can't even give really distance, unless you just run backwards, which is good to do too, because you're building muscle memory for the puppy that when mom does this, good, they're gonna get a reward. So they really start to associate all that muscle memory together. Anyway, let's say that the puppy is stuck to like glue. Drop a few pieces of food on the floor and then slowly give space when your puppy eats all of that up. Puppy come, good food. And so do that for 2 weeks, preferably for every meal, but at least for breakfast. And if your puppy's not that motivated by kibble yet, I would work on that. But in the meantime, you would use some healthy treats in the morning before breakfast. You need to create some serious muscle memory. It's my favorite thing to do in the world with dogs. It's like something we do on the farm before the puppy ever sees the leash, and it just builds the whole relationship with your puppy and your dog.
That's her word.
This is the relationship exercise. It's really, a come exercise, but it's about building that foundation of follow me around. And, okay, I'm done.
That was really, really good.
Yeah. So that's the active work that you need to do. And then in those moments where she doesn't listen, take it away.
Okay, so for the moments where she doesn't listen, and I'm going to tag back to you're not using leash pressure, but you're going to get to a point where you're going to have to use a little bit. But when leash pressure doesn't work, yes, thank you, I relieve leash pressure because I'm not going to hold it for a 9-week-old puppy. This might even be like 10 or 11 weeks old when I start doing this. Yeah. But I had recently had an Eastern Asian Shepherd, 3 months old, 50 pounds. That's huge. Eastern? Maybe it was a Western Asian Shepherd. Yeah, I think it's Eastern Asian, Southern Asian, Western Asian.
Eastern Asian Shepherd.
Asian Shepherd. It's 50 pounds and it's 3 months old. It's a huge dog.
Whoa, huge dog,
huge.
like
Anatolian. It's going to be about 200 pounds when it's fully grown. So this dog is 3 months old and it's lazy because it pretty much gets tired standing up. So we had to find ways of motivating this dog to move. I know it's not the same thing, not the same as a Bernedoodle, but it sounds like your Bernedoodle just doesn't want to move at some points. We literally had to use leash pressure, hold it, dog wouldn't move, let go of the leash pressure, toss a piece of food on the ground about 3 feet in front of him. The minute the dog got up and picked up that first piece of food, that's when we said, come again, walk backwards, and try to do a little bit of leash pressure with a lot of motivation. What she just said to do now is going to help you over the next 2 weeks, because when you're done with that 2 weeks of what she said, now you're going to do what I say.
Which is the leash pressure, yeah.
Leash pressure, motivation, and get the dog moving.
Think of it this way. Your leash is not to control your dog,
motivate.
Your puppy. It's not to control your puppy. You have to teach them what the leash means, because especially on harness, it usually creates a lockup. They're like, you can't force me to do anything. And so you have to have all these repetitions of what to do. So that way when they get a little distracted or they don't really want to come. Or stubborn. And you layer on a little bit of leash pressure and then you do the same movement they've been seeing about 300 times now with food. It unlocks them. And then they learn how to follow the leash pressure. They learn how to turn the leash pressure off. That's what you're looking to do. I
follow a trainer. I couldn't even tell you which one. It's just one of the TikTok ones. And she said something that I actually had to think about. She said it takes anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 repetitions of come before a dog wants to do it when distracted in moments where they don't actually want to do it, where that muscle memory triggers. So you got to think about that. Is that going to happen in 2 weeks? No, you'll probably get about 200 to 300 if you're practicing, like Bethany was saying. It happens over months of working with your dog, practicing come, before there's a moment where they see a bird and you're like, Bernedoodle, come! And they shoot over to you because they associate so much food work and relationship building work with that come that they're going to bypass that bird. Maybe not a bird, maybe a dog. They're going to bypass that distraction and run up to you, and maybe you don't have a piece of food, but you give a nice little head pet and then you work them through and kind of get them below threshold, which is working them away from that big distraction. That's what we're trying to build up, and that's what this does for your pup.
All right.
Did we hit it? Wow.
Woo.
We got a minute to spare. Look at us.
I hope that you guys enjoyed that. We had some good questions today. And I'll tell you what, like when we get 1,000 questions, we're like, we can do it. Oh no. But when we have less questions and we can talk about them for 10 minutes.
We're actually kind of excited.
That's our jam. That's our jam right there. Oh,
wait, we can't answer questions short?
No, well, we can. We're just better at that. We can try. All right, guys, we want to let you guys know something before we go. Our online school is open. And you get a command training course, so a really, really thorough breakdown of all the commands that we suggest, what we would consider your basic commands to function in life that need to happen. Videos to solve puppyhood's biggest issues. This is all the questions that we get on here. Puppy mouthing, jumping, all that good stuff. Of course, potty training too. We do live Q&A coaching that's not just on here, but it's a personalized one for you specifically when you do this online program. So any of those
questions that hit the chat that don't get answered, they'll always get answered in that one, majority-wise.
Yep. If you want to sign up for our online classes or check them out and see what they're all about, the link is in our bio on Instagram. So TikTok, go to Instagram, and the link is in the bio on there. Or you can go to our.
We have one for TikTok too.
Well, you guys can just go to our website on the Pappy. What is wrong with me?
Hey, at least I didn't talk and trip over my words. I'm just saying.
Puppyacademy.com. And then any questions, just direct message us. No big deal. We'll answer them. We hope to see you there. We've worked crazy hard on this program. We've actually had many programs, and then we've tweaked and fixed depending on the feedback that we've gotten over the last
funneled it down
2 years. Yes, well, I still think we still have more perfecting to do, but that will never stop.
It's because we're human. We will always perfect it.
Yes,
we'll always make it better.
That's our attitude.
What I love about our program too is that it's not focused around short little videos. We go into nuance. We go into all the things of what you do when dogs don't listen in this moment, or they do this instead of that. We show you all the troubleshooting.
Yeah, all the questions,
very different.
All the hard questions that a lot of even your one-on-one trainers don't want to answer, we go into in videos, and we'll go into them in the Q&As. And we really try to not just teach the basic obedience, but to problem solve difficult situations as best we could without being too monotonous or boring. And then we also have a plethora of other videos that go over preventing separation anxiety, just a whole bunch of stuff. Go and check it out, guys, and let us know what you think. We hope to see you there. We'll see you next week, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.